Welcome to our channel, where we update the thrilling, fascinating, and surprising plots surrounding your favorite TV series. If you are passionate about drama, unexpected twists and stories beyond imagination, then this is the place for you. In this journey, we will take you into the mysterious and emotional world surrounding a major shock in Beyond the Gates, where even the strongest relationships can be broken in the blink of an eye. Chelsea never thought that her world could be turned upside down in just one moment, but it happened. In the middle of a seemingly normal afternoon, a file fell out of an old box in Nicole's office, where she often kept memories from her time as an investigative reporter. No one expected that inside the box would be the key to a secret buried so deeply, a secret that would shatter everything Chelsea had believed in her entire life. The yellowed papers, hospital photos, and a copy of the birth certificate not only revealed the truth about a little girl named Madison, but also showed that Nicole was not just the devoted guardian of the child as Chelsea had thought, but her real mother. Chelsea's heart clenched as she recognized the name on the birth certificate, Mother, Nicole. Each word was like a knife to her mind. The stark truth shattered everything she had believed about her relationship with Nicole. She remembered the years Madison had grown up in her arms, the painful moments when she thought the child had been abandoned by her birth mother, and the determination she had to raise her to be a strong, independent woman. She used to be proud of being the only one who could fill the void in Madison's life, but now, she suddenly realized that it was all just part of a long-planned chess game. Nicole never expected that the seemingly forgotten box would open the door to a nightmare. She tried to bury the past under the perfect cover, a powerful, sympathetic woman who had experienced many losses and was a strong support for Chelsea. But she could not have expected that the prolonged silence would become the greatest sin, especially when it was exposed by the hands of the daughter she wanted to protect the most. For many years, Nicole had kept the truth hidden because of a fear of losing love. Fear of losing control, fear of being exposed as a weak person who abandoned her own child in the weakest moment of her life. Chelsea could no longer look Nicole in the face like before. She feels like the victim of a long-term, elaborate deception, one whose love is used to cover up a crime. A sense of betrayal wells up inside her, not only because Madison is not her biological daughter, but because the woman she calls family is the one who robbed her of the truth from the start. She begins to doubt everything, the seemingly innocent conversations, the sincere advice, even the times Nicole silently wept while watching Madison from afar. All of it now becomes suspicious. Madison, still unaware of the unfolding crisis, carefreely enjoys her last summer before college. But Chelsea knows that the truth cannot be hidden much longer. She must make a choice. Continue to live in silence and lies, or face the coming storm, and tell Madison the truth about her true identity. But what if Madison chooses to leave Chelsea to find her biological mother? Will the love she has for the child over the years be strong enough to overcome this cruel truth? While Chelsea struggles with her emotions, Nicole is falling into a state of silent panic. She knows that time is no longer on her side. She begins to recall that time when Madison was born in a difficult situation, between a forbidden love and harsh social pressure. She was forced to make a choice, to give up her daughter to save her family's honor. The sacrifice that year, she once thought was the right thing to do, but now turned into an irreversible tragedy. She once hoped that Chelsea would never know the truth, so that their love would not be broken. But she was wrong. Since discovering the truth, Chelsea gradually changed. She became quiet, spoke less, and her eyes always shone with suspicion. The tension between her and Nicole grew suffocating, every look, every word carrying a deep meaning. She began to investigate more closely what had happened when Madison was little. The subtle signs she had overlooked were now becoming clear, the times Nicole had shown too much concern, the times she had tried to interfere in how she raised Madison, the times she had been confused when someone asked about Madison's biological parents. The truth not only tears the family apart, it also threatens to expose deeper secrets. Chelsea discovers that Nicole had a brief but serious affair with a powerful man in politics, and that he may be Madison's biological father. If the truth comes to light, it will not only shock the public but also destroy the entire reputation and career of many involved. That puts Chelsea in a dangerous position. If she decides to expose everything, she will lose everything: her family, her love, and possibly Madison. But is silence the right choice? When one night, Madison overhears a conversation between Nicole and a stranger on the phone, where she begs to keep Madison a secret and mentions a large sum of money being transferred to protect the future. Madison begins to have her doubts. She senses something is wrong. And one rainy night, she rummages through Nicole's belongings, and comes across an old photo of herself being born, with Nicole holding a man with his face torn off. Madison realizes something is very wrong, and she decides to follow the trail, starting a journey to find the truth about her own identity. Chelsea knows that time is running out. She must confront Madison before the young girl discovers the secret herself. But confessing is not easy. Years of love, sacrifices can be denied with just one sentence. "You are not my real daughter." She must prepare herself for the worst. Madison might leave, might hate her for cheating, might choose Nicole, the one who brought her into this world, over the one who raised her every day. Chelsea has almost lost touch with the world around her. Every day was a series of tense moments as she tried to keep her composure so Madison wouldn't suspect anything. But her mind was constantly torn by pain, anger, and betrayal. The sleepless nights. The time she tried to hold back tears when Madison smiled, all of it seemed to drain her soul. Every time she saw Nicole, she felt a wave of complicated emotions that she couldn't name, between love and resentment, between wanting to forgive and longing to punish. Nicole, on the other hand, fell into a constant state of fear. She knew everything was spiraling out of control, and that every little action of hers could be interpreted by Chelsea as a sign of manipulation or guilt. She didn't dare call Madison as much, didn't dare show her concern like before, and avoided facing Chelsea directly. But that avoidance only made Chelsea suspect that Nicole was hiding more. As her suspicions grew, Chelsea began to expand her investigation. She went to the hospital where Madison was born, pretending to get information for health insurance reasons. After several rounds of questioning, a retired nurse who still remembered the mysterious birth that year told her that a young woman had been brought in that night under a false name and was protected by a strange figure. The child was born quietly, and just a few hours later, another woman, also named Chelsea, came to adopt her as a relative. The fragments of memory began to piece together into a hazy but haunting picture. Chelsea understood that Madison's life had been rewritten from the beginning like a sophisticated script. Chelsea didn't stop there. She followed the address in the old photo she found in Nicole's trunk. It was a small house by the lake, long vacant but still kept clean by an old caretaker. He admitted that he had seen Nicole bring a man there several times in the past years, and that there was a child who was often hidden in the house. The man, he said, was dignified and often wore a suit and, most notably, always drove a car with government license plates. The information sent a shiver down Chelsea's spine. It was no longer just a family affair, but something much bigger, with political secrets that, if exposed, would have unpredictable consequences. While Chelsea was getting closer to the truth, Madison began to notice a change in the attitudes of both her foster mother and her guardian. The tension in the air, the unfinished words, the averted eyes, all of it whispered to her that something was wrong. She dug through old diaries, dug through old family albums, and began to compare. There was something odd about a picture of her when she was just a few months old. Nicole's face in the picture didn't look like a happy relative, but like a mother trying to contain her emotions. Her eyes in the picture didn't lie. The feeling of being deceived rose up inside Madison like an undercurrent. She could no longer remain silent. On a rainy afternoon, she knocked on Nicole's apartment door. No warning, no waiting. There was only anger, confusion, and a racing heart. Nicole could no longer avoid it. Under Madison's burning gaze, she was forced to confess. She was the girl's biological mother. And she was the one who had been forced to leave her child because of an order from Madison's powerful father, who would never accept the existence of an illegitimate child. The truth was finally spoken, but not in the gentle voice of a confession, but in the choked sobs of a woman who had lived half her life in sin. Madison left that house in silence. she walked in the rain, her feet not knowing where they would take her. She felt like the whole world had betrayed her. Her adoptive mother, the person she once respected and loved the most, turned out not to be her biological mother. The person she called aunt was the one who gave birth to her. Years of living in a lie that was carefully protected like a glass cage, now shattered. She didn't know who to trust, what love was real, what memories were real, what family was and what lies. Chelsea received a call from Madison in the middle of the night. It wasn't a reproach, nor a reconciliation conversation. Just a single sentence, "I need time." Chelsea understood that she had lost Madison, at least for now. She didn't cry, didn't scream, just sat there, motionless in the middle of the dark room, where photos of her and Madison still hung on the wall. Each photo felt like a knife to the heart. However, things didn't stop there. Just when Chelsea thinks the nightmare is over, an anonymous letter arrives at her home. The letter contains photos taken from afar. Madison is being followed. And the man in the photo, the one who follows Madison on the way to school, in the coffee shop, even in front of Nicole's house, is the man in the old photo with his face torn off. The man who, according to the Lakeside Guard, is a powerful political figure. Chelsea knows that the truth is much deeper. Someone doesn't want Madison to know anything more. Someone who is willing to do anything to hide her true identity, maybe even erase her forever. The story continues, secrets are gradually revealed, and the fate of Madison, Chelsea, and the man in the shadows is still a big question mark. Will what Chelsea discover help her win Madison back or push them into even more danger? Don't miss the next thrilling and emotional developments. Subscribe and follow our channel today so you don't miss any exciting developments in the next parts. Thank you for joining us and see you again in the next stories full of surprises and drama.